Hello and welcome to a new reaction video. My name is Larissa and today I am going to react to a new video. Well, it's a documentary actually, and it's called The Wild Mustangs of North America. I honestly don't know anything about it apart from the title and that it's a documentary, so I don't really have anything to say up front. I'm just gonna watch it, see what it's about. Yeah, obviously it's about horses, but you know. This documentary was actually requested by Patreon, and I want to tell you that if you want to request your own video, TV show, movie or anything, you can check out my Patreon, the link's in the description, and you can find different tiers there. You can also get early access and uncut reactions on there, so if you're interested, check it out. And then now I'm just going to watch this documentary. Sick horse intro. Horse TV Global, is that a thing? Whoa. I don't know how old this documentary is actually. Oh, it doesn't look very new, but I mean, that's fine.
The largest population of wild horses in the world can be found in the US. Wild American Mustangs. The Mustang story is a dramatic one.
A dramatic
100 years
one?
ago, these horses were ruthlessly exploited. They were captured in their thousands and used in wartime. And at the same time, the Wild West was being colonized by settlers, resulting in reduced habitat and diminishing food sources for the Mustangs. In the space of a single century, the number of wild Mustangs dropped from around 2 million to just 40,000.
That is so sad.
Mustangs are no longer threatened, and there is great respect for these horses.
Good. Oh, look at the
way in which
tiny
they are treated
one.
when captured shows that Americans have truly taken the Mustangs into their hearts.
I mean, they're so pretty.
Wild Mustangs live mainly in the western states, particularly in the state of Nevada. Mustangs herd together in small bands of 7 to 12 horses. Each band has a harem stallion, and the rest are mares and foals. The stallion is almost always at a slight distance from his harem, keeping a watchful eye out for rival stallions.
Damn.
But although the stallion is the leader of the herd, the lead mare always goes first, and the others all follow.
But if there's only one stallion, then there's
There are often
like
bands of young stallions
not a
close
lot
to
of
the
them,
herd.
right? If they
They
all
have
need a
not yet
herd.
established a harem of their own, and grouped together in what are known as bachelor bands. These groups stay close to the herd, waiting for an opportunity to run off with some of the leading stallion's mares. No luck this time, and they slope off.
That's so funny to see, like their habitats and all.
Mustangs brought over from Spain to America 500 years ago.
Oh.
The horses, which escaped the Spaniards, have run free ever since, living by the laws of nature.
I'm really
and to
learning
the
a lot
great
of new
American
things
plains.
already.
The American authorities want to maintain the population at its current level. The authorities estimate that on the open spaces left in Midwest America, there is only enough food and water to maintain a population of about 40,000 wild horses.
Pretty soon you'll have horses starving to death out here. They'll be fighting over waters. They'll drink water holes dry because some of the waters are very limited on how much they produce.
Mustangs are very prolific, and the population would grow annually by many thousands if the numbers were not kept in check.
I'm really
American
wondering from what
authorities
year this
have to gather
documentary
around
is.
10,000
I mean, it was uploaded 10 months ago, so... And I also can't really find it anywhere else than on
Getting
YouTube,
ready to
so...
start the gather. They are wranglers, not cowboys. To them, cowboy is a derogatory word. They work for the American authority known as BLM, Bureau of Land Management. Mustangs are completely protected and may only be captured by the BLM. They may not be hunted nor caught for commercial purposes. Traps are strategically set to blend into the landscape.
We try not to interfere with the animals on the range any more than we have to. And so pretty much what that amounts to is we go out and monitor the herds, evaluate their habitat, evaluate the animal's health, and then when we have an identified need where maybe the rangeland's in poor condition or the animals are not responding well, then we'll conduct a removal.
Okay.
Helicopters and wranglers on horseback are used to gather the wild horses.
You not only have to be a skilled pilot, you have to have an understanding of wild horses and what a wild horse is capable of doing and kind of understand their tendencies. I think a lot of times Jim knows what a horse is going to do before he does it.
Large rolls of burlap are erected as a fence to guide the horses into the trap. The horses see the burlap as a wall they cannot go through. Drive several herds together before leading them back to the corral.
It's so funny how they do this.
A dust of cloud reveals a new herd of Mustangs.
Like, there's a whole strategy behind this.
These maneuvers are dangerous. Jim has crashed several times when his rotor blades came too close to the treetops.
Oh, damn.
But up to now,
Yeah, I just wanted to
he has
say, it
escaped
doesn't look
unharmed.
easy.
3 stallions have run off. The stallions are the most difficult to drive in, and they are not as easily frightened by the helicopter. On previous gathers, Jim has had to get close to the ground, pushing the stallions to the
shit.
helicopter's skids in order to drive them back into the herd.
They feel like they're being attacked by this metal thing. I mean, that's what's happening.
When the herd approaches the trap, there are more problems with the stallions. They
They're
run off to all sides.
Running
and
away
Jim
again,
Hicks
yeah.
has to ask the wranglers for help.
Do you think they would feel like the horse that is like helping the humans? Do you think they see that one as a traitor?
The rider horse is turned loose and the wild horses will follow it on into the trap, and then the wranglers come in behind and close the gate.
Wow. I feel like that takes a lot of work to do. Oh, I feel kind of bad for them. They're just scared.
The Judas horses are immediately separated from the wild ones.
A wild horse is scared to death of somebody on horseback, and I think it comes from something on their back. They relate it to a lion or something jumping on their back. You take a helicopter, he was probably out there, what, 45 minutes? You sort them, it's done with, and they haven't wore their feet to nothing.
Amongst the captured horses is a rarity, an albino horse.
Oh my
It
god!
is over 10 years old and will be released again.
They can kill a mare, they can kill a colt real easily. We separate them here for the same reason, so they don't get killed inside the pen here.
Most accidents happen because the horses think they can go through the bars, and so they run directly into them. But now, black plastic snow fences are put up around the bars, and these accidents rarely happen anymore.
Oh, that's good.
Before we...
Because that doesn't sound nice.
Loading them before we start using it on the outside of it, you know, we broke quite a few necks because they jump at them panels and
Oh,
try to go through them.
Jim Hicks makes 4 more runs and brings in over 120 horses that day.
that's a lot.
After 5 days, around 400 Mustangs have been caught and are transported to Palomino Valley. The trap is dismantled and moved to another area.
It's interesting, I had no idea they did this. I mean, honestly, I have no idea how they do anything with horses, so everything is new to me.
Palomino Valley is the American authorities' central reception area for captured Mustangs. There is space here.
They
for
look
around
sad.
2,000 horses.
The 3 that were like... Damn, the sound of all of them running.
Typically, when the wild horses come in off the range from a gather operation, the very first thing they'll do is we'll run them through our squeeze chutes and let the veterinarian take a look at them to make sure if they have any physical injuries or if they have anything that requires immediate attention. After that, what they'll do is give them the normal range of vaccines for a domestic horse. And then we also give each horse an individual identification number. That's that freeze mark that you'll see on their neck. Each animal is individually identified. It'll tell the age of the horse, and that's tied to another code that we assign to the animal called a signalment key. And that way, through our computer system, we can track each individual animal. Once it receives its freeze mark and its vaccinations, we turn it out into these pens. And we'll keep it for at least 30 days so that it can get its booster vaccinations.
A Mustang is anesthetized so that the vet can clean a wound on its shoulder.
So we're giving him the anesthetic now.
The anesthetic takes 10 seconds to work. vet lances the wound and presses out the pus.
Okay. We get it.
All right, guys.
You want to try this other hole, Rich?
The wound is superficial and will heal quickly.
Aw.
The horses possess what vets call clean legs, no bulging at the joints, and strong and healthy hooves.
Good.
You take a saddle horse, keep him in the corral for 10 years and shoot him every 6 weeks. You destroy their ability to pump blood to their feet. When you wear your feet down, like these are, then you have terrific, healthy feet. Actually, to shoe a horse, you should shoe him for 6 weeks and then trim him down and turn him out for a month. 6 weeks, 2 months, that's the limit.
Yep.
And then they should be barefooted for a while. The wild horses got terrific feet. The reason they are is because no man don't mess with them.
Something very dramatic happened over 3 million years ago. A great number of horses died in a short period of time.
What we're currently thinking is that it was a drought and that a shallow river was drying up. And horses are very, very much dependent on a water source. So eventually you're going to have the animals dying out, and you can imagine the bottom of this dried up river covered with dead horses.
This mass death has left the area around Snake River with one of the largest collections of horse fossils in the world.
What makes this particular site so exciting is that it is the single largest sample of the modern horse genus Equus. And so we're looking at a population of animals, over 200 that have been found here, that allows us to really understand the origin and the evolutionary history of the modern horse group.
That is
The fossils are
interesting.
embedded in hard rock and are impossible to remove on site. So blocks of rock containing the fossils are transported to laboratories, and here paleontologists work to free the fossils from the rock. The horses found at Snake River are the forefathers of all living horses today.
Whoa.
This is the oldest and the first species of the modern horse genus Equus. So we can think of this as the ancestral form, not only for Przewalski's horse, but for what eventually gave rise to zebras and donkeys. So this is sort of the basic model from which the other living horse lineages could be derived. If you start looking at details of the skeleton, we can say it's really more zebra-like than horse-like.
Oh.
And apparently some features of the skeleton suggest that this was very much like the living Grevy's zebra in Africa today.
Over the last 55 million years, the horse has evolved from being the size of a cat to the large animal we know today. The horse became larger and heavier, and at some point in its history, it had to adapt so that it was able to run.
As grasslands develop, the forests break up, we see a lot of this adaptation for running probably related to open country. There's no place to hide from predators. If you look at this horse here, he's already down to one toe, like the modern horse. And this is part of the long evolutionary history of horses becoming adapted for running, which includes reducing the number of their toes. 10,000 years ago, Equus disappeared here in North America at the end of the Ice Age, along with mammoths, mastodons, camels, and other large herbivores.
American Mustangs only descend indirectly from their original American ancestors, and this was through the horses which migrated to Asia and on to Europe 2 million years ago, only to return to the North American continent with the help of man 500 years ago. The horse returned home to its place of origin. Only one private individual in America has been given permission to tame wild horses, is Steve Mantle, and he is one of the famous horse whisperers, someone who can do things with horses that no one else can.
Damn, okay. Kind of reminds me of the cat whisperer. It's like a guy also
The newly stallions
who was
of
in
a
like a
certain
program
age
like
are
this, but then he helped people with
They
their
are suitable
cats.
for riding. It is necessary to be able to identify them from the air, so they are freeze marked with an extra large identification code.
It's so weird how they do that. Like, I know they're not hurting the horses because they don't really seem to care, but how does it stay so long then?
Good horsemanship to me would be willing to learn new things that has no ego involved. They're out there for the horse. They're not out there for themselves. They're willing to be honest. Ultimately, the owner, the rider, and the trainer are going to win. If the horse doesn't win, nobody wins.
It's when Steve Mantle stands before an individual horse that you can see his very special abilities.
We're going to introduce this little horse.
Yeah, I'm curious about what he's going to do.
He's in here all by himself, and the natural thing for him to do is be with a herd of horses. That's where he's the safest. So we're going to try to take the place of the herd when he's with us. That's a good thing, and when he's away from us, it's a bad thing.
Okay.
Now he's come to this gate right here because that's where he came in. So that's where he wants to go right back out. These wild horses naturally zero in on things like that. So we're going to strengthen the right side of the horse first. See how we got both ears right here? Now we lost it. Now we got it back. Lost it. Now we got it back. Because now he's okay with me on the right. So now we got to get him okay with me on the left.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to hustle him to get him by the camera. Now we're going to hustle him again and let him coast. Oh, he's already wanting. See, he's a pretty smart little horse. He's finding the answer.
The horse can read your body language, and he reads it better than
Oh,
you
the
ever thought of reading it.
cat!
First off, in his mind, you're a predator. Then you start building that relationship right there.
Oh my god.
Now, this little horse doesn't know that being petted is a good thing, that it's a good thing. And they might nip you. You just have to be aware of that, be ready for it, watch out for it. But once they find out that being petted is a good thing, the rest of your process is pretty easy. There's a saying out there that if you look these horses in the eyes that you send them away, well, my experience is the eyes are the window to the soul, and if you want to know what's going on in his mind, you better be looking at his eyes and his ears and checking that out.
Okay. I feel like he's like doing this all
I
really
don't know what we've
fast.
been at it, a half hour, 45 minutes maybe.
Oh damn.
And that is quick.
Yeah, and we've got a
I was just saying that.
2-year-old wild Mustang that at this point right here, not a whole lot different than a domestic 2-year-old that's been run out on the range.
I guess that's why he is the
only
horse
thing is his
whisperer.
sense of, and now he's set himself up for us to see if we can't teach him something. That he just made the turn right there. He don't know what he did, but he did something. And it turned out to be pretty good because he was really troubled with that rope around behind him. He worked himself out of it. Now we're in here and we're going to give him just a little bit of reward. They'll be turning so light and handling so nice because they're craving it. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, I can do this. And they want to do it.
I feel like if you know all of this and if you're so good with a horse,
If he wants to
then you
go on
must
by,
have
that's fine,
like
'cause what we're gonna teach him
worked
is by
with
going on
horses
by,
since you were really
he's
young,
gonna get
right?
into pressure. Boom. It's okay, he got a good education right there. That didn't hurt him at all.
Okay, better.
After just 2 hours' work, Steve Mantle judges how far he has progressed. If the horse allows him to lift its leg, he has won the horse's confidence. The legs are extremely sensitive, and many horse owners, even after years of riding, are not allowed to touch their horse's legs.
I usually get this right here first or second day.
That is so insane. If like sometimes after years they won't even allow it and this guy just does it in a few hours. Damn.
I think you can go right up between his eyes.
Horse is still a little confused, but okay. Aw, he likes pets. Cute! The eyes. Aw, he's enjoying it. Okay, now I get why this guy is called the Horse Whisperer. This is crazy how he does that.
Well, if you keep shoes on it 12 months out of the year, in term, over the years, you will shorten his lifespan of his feet by 50% at least.
Joint and bone disease are some of the most common ailments among modern saddle horses.
Oh.
These diseases often develop into chronic conditions, making the horse lame and therefore useless as a saddle horse. This often ends with the animal being put down. Mustangs,
All the horses that we breed today came out of stock that looked just like this. People bred for what they preferred.
I don't know, I just kind of hate how humans always have to like control everything. Especially if I heard that because of all of that,
this gives saddle
they
horses
develop
certain
these
symptoms.
like
When a
bone
horse weighs
diseases
8
and all.
kilos, its legs cannot take the strain for long.
Yeah, it's
The
like,
legs wear out
are
and
you
develop
supposed to do
joint
that
disorders.
then?
Mother Nature, I think, is a better breeder than we are. Those
Yeah.
animals with potential problems that will be passed on genetically will continue to breed those, either due to greed or misplaced affection or other issues.
Yep.
Riverton, Wyoming is home to one of the 5 state prisons in the USA where wild Mustangs are tamed, with 150 inmates. They have served part of their sentence in other prisons and must exhibit good behavior to be placed in Riverton.
Oh.
Some of the things they learn about here are farming and how to train wild Mustangs.
Well, it's different coming to prison and serving my time doing something I like. I'm not no top hand on training a horse, but there's quite a difference between a wild horse and a domestic horse.
Most of the inmates that we get here have never worked with horses, and so I think a number of them, they come and they don't want to have anything to do with it. They're scared of the horses. But, once they get into it, most of the inmates really see it as a good program, and I don't get that many requests for job changes.
That is so funny. I had no idea that was a thing.
17 months and you still don't get used to it. It's like better than a cup of coffee in the morning. It's just a big rush. It's fun though.
12 years ago, there were a number of prisons that BLM would use to train the horses, and we saw that, and we saw that as a really good opportunity to introduce, the same program here.
The first thing they teach the horses is not to run at the sight of humans.
Right now. All right. All right, you see him how he's looking at us here a little bit? That's what we want him to do right here. There's the stop. There he's figuring out. Right here, when he stops and looks, let him figure us out here. We're not putting any pressure on him. We're not trying to do nothing to him right here until he settles down just a little bit here.
Later on the same day, they test how the horses react when they are tethered with a rope.
Horse out.
Is willing to do what we want him to do. This is a nice horse right here.
His haircut.
You just rub his nose a little bit and then just slide your hand back over that. There. Now just turn away and walk away there just a little bit. There you go. Come on down your rope a little bit. Now stop right there, Brown. Next time, walk up to him there and rub his nose a little bit and just turn your head and just kind of back up that rope a little faster than that. Don't think he's going to do nothing. There. Now, there you go. Yeah, just move right on back there kind of fast. There. That's good.
It's so interesting
But
to
not all
see how
horses
they
give in so easily.
get them to trust them and all. Ooh, damn. The calendar says August 2001, so I guess it's been filmed in that year then.
He has left the old rodeo methods behind, whereby the horse's will was broken by use of force. Now,
The
they
force?
use teamwork, trust, and respect.
They're just horses born in the wild. The first thing the mother does is start nuzzling them right at the point of the shoulders. Right
For the first time in their lives, the horses are bridled and must slowly become accustomed to wearing a saddle.
Sometimes if you just reach underneath them like that, they gentle down and they know we're not going to hurt them, so they trust us.
There. And now hold his head just like that. That's really important right here. That just don't pull it. Just don't pull it. That's all.
After a month of intensive training, the horse is calm and confident around people. Now is when it will become clear if the training has been a success. will the horse accept having a person climb on and sit in the saddle?
Oh, I feel like this
now
would be
just
so
step up there a little
scary.
bit, count to 3 a little bit.
What if he throws you off or something?
And they, there. Okay, good.
Okay, they're doing it really slow.
Now, if you want to just stay right there, we'll turn this horse loose and then we'll see what happens. He don't know that he's untied, so we kick the inside leg, relax a little bit there. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let him have his head just a little bit.
It's going pretty well.
In 8 days, I kill my number, and I'm going to go to Alaska and hopefully work in some riding stables. A lot of the programs really didn't help me, but the horse program, it's a life changer.
I mean, everyone seems to be really positive about the horse program, so it seems to work.
Myself and who I am, then I can make it, and that's why I want to continue working in horses.
The inmates really form a bond with the horses. You'll even see in the auctions when the horses are being offered for public sale that as they're leaving, you know, the inmates will express a little emotion, maybe even see a tear from time to time. So yeah, the bond is pretty tight between
What
the
the
horses
fuck?
and the inmates.
That's so funny.
Adoption is the last stop on the Mustang's path from freedom on the plains to a new life around people. The trained Mustangs are sold at auction, although it is called adoption because of the stringent restrictions regarding their sale. People must apply to become approved as adoptees.
Okay,
and
that's
are
good.
obligated to give the horse a good life. The authorities constantly check that people live up to these obligations.
That is
If
really
during
good.
the first year it becomes evidence that a horse is suffering from neglect, the authorities can take it back.
It was a real surprise for us when we came in on Monday morning and heard that we had a wild horse adopt for $19,000. We have a lot of horses adopt in the $1,000 to $2,000 range, but $19,000 was unique. And
Yeah, that's a lot.
see that again someday.
Even though I feel like horses these days are a lot more expensive. I don't exactly know how much a horse costs, but I mean everything has gotten more expensive, so probably horses too, you know.
Or adopted are not put down, but released into large grassy sanctuaries in Oklahoma and Kansas, where they live until they die a natural death.
Aww.
The wild
Good.
horse is a symbol of the West and the frontier movement. It will always be that way.
I thought that one fell, but it was just like a hill. Cute. Oh, that was it. Okay. That was fun to watch. Yeah. It's like, again, I don't know a lot about horses. I don't have a lot with horses, but to see how they're being trained and also getting a bit of history on them, that's really nice. Especially because I also watched some of the horse videos from Sam, which you might have seen before on my channel. And she also trains Mustangs. So it's like every time I get a bit more information and some backstory on them. And honestly, I had no idea that this was like a whole business, you know. Yeah, I mean, obviously it is, but like how they're doing this and that there's just like these groups of people who like do all of that and that there's so many sanctuaries and just how it all works. Yeah, it's fun to learn. What I also thought was pretty interesting was the whole part with the horse whisperer. Like, especially it's good that they told in the meantime, like normally it takes this long to get this done. Sometimes like owners can't even touch like the legs of their horses because like that's the most sensitive part and they don't let everyone do that. And this guy just did it in a day. Like, it's good that they told us, like I said, how long it usually takes, because that really made me think, like, damn, this guy's really good indeed. So, yeah, it was all really interesting to see, because I feel like this documentary was kind of split into 3 parts. Like, it started with the people who kind of, like, chase the horses to, like, yeah, get them captured, you know? That was already pretty interesting to see. Like, I had no idea they did that with a helicopter and all. And there was like a whole technique behind that. So that was already pretty interesting. And then we got the horse whisperer. And then in the end, we got the horse program in the sort of prison. So yeah, it was interesting to see these 3 different parts, and it also showed kind of the stages of what happens to the horses. And it's mostly really good to hear that they're not like putting down the horses anymore, that they're just like, if they're not sold, they're going into a sanctuary and they can just live there till they die. And that the people who want to like adopt the horses first have to go through some sort of screening and all, and they really check on the people if they don't neglect the horses. Yeah, it's good to hear that, because I like animals and I don't like it when animals are hurt. So yeah, it was a fun documentary. Like I said, I think it's filmed around 2001 then, so I'm not sure if this is like outdated or anything. It's probably a bit different these days, but still, I mean, yeah, it's fun to see how this is all done. Yeah, I think that was my reaction. I hope you like it. And like I said, you can request your own thing if you want. And yeah, then that was it. So if you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this documentary. And then I really hope to see you next time. Bye!